going on, everyone? Welcome to the 2019 Arnold Classic here in Columbus, Ohio. We are here at 614 Barbell, home of Katie Rutherford.
Yes.
So I'm going to introduce these two ladies, and then we are going to answer the questions that you asked. All right, so first let's start with Katie Rutherford, who is a two-time world champion, WNBF, OCB figure champion.
Yes.
Also won an overall in the NPC in figure, if I remember correctly.
Yes.
And USAPL Elite Raw Powerlifter.
Yes.
So we're going to get some questions from her. And then we have Lauren DANNENMILLER, who is the 2017 National NPC Bikini Overall Champion, and now an IFB Bikini Pro, about to make her pro debut. All three of us are core elite athletes. So what I'm going to do here is get them the questions, and then we're going to see what they have to say about what you had to ask. So we're going to start with why. Why Core Nutritionals? What keeps you loyal to the brand?
Well, I think there's a couple of different things. First of all, when I was first starting to compete and trying out different brands and different products, I always came back to Core because of the quality of the products, and also I was just never disappointed in the flavors and any product that I had. And I think that that's like the first thing, especially if you're sponsored by a company, is do you actually like the products, and is it something that you will endorse authentically? And for me, it was 100% what I love the company, love what the company represented, and then also what keeps me around is 100% the team and the people. For me, I just really value the relationships that I've built through Core, and it really does feel like a family to me, and I couldn't imagine myself anywhere else.
Perfect. So same question to you. What keeps you loyal to Core, and why did you choose Core?
Yeah, so I've been with Core for like 4 years now. So that's a pretty long time. Actually, Paul introduced me to Core Nutritionals. Like, he sent me like some sample packets when I was in prep in like 2015, and I tried it out and it just made sense to me. And I looked at the back and they had all the ingredients listed out on the back. I'm like, there we go. Like, there's a company that's listing everything on there, so I knew what I was taking. And then ever since, I've just been obsessed with the brand, and so many products are in the line too, which is awesome to have in a brand. And just like Katie said, the ingredients and the quality, high quality stuff, and just like the crush it mentality that we have here, like on our team, like crushing it in all aspects of life. And that's why I'm loyal to Core.
Perfect. All right, so I'm going to start with you on this one, Lauren.
Okay.
What athletes or people did you look up to when you started your lifting or physique journey?
Okay, so the first person that I looked up to was Ashley Horner. You guys might not know who she is.
I know who she is.
Okay,
yeah.
So I saw her on like bodybuilding.com, and I was like, wow, this girl looks incredible. She has muscle, like she just looked like awesome. And I didn't want to be skinny anymore. Because I was always like a runner. So I wanted to like have shape and be strong, and that is who got me into bodybuilding. That's what got me into like lifting.
Awesome. So same question to you. What person got you?
So actually, the first person that I came in contact with who competed was my track coach in middle school. She was an IFBB figure pro, and she competed at the Arnold. And I remember I saw her and I was like, she looks incredible. And I was in middle school. Letitia Wilder.
Letitia Wilder.
Yeah, she's retired now, but she is a local competitor here in Columbus, or was. And she competed at the Arnold every year, at the Olympia, and she did really well. And I remember she just happened to be my track coach, and I was like, she looks amazing. And I wanted to figure out like what she does, and I found out she was a bodybuilder. And so then that got me interested. And then I definitely looked up to Nicole Wilkins and Aaron Stern. Those were like my top two. Yeah.
Aaron's actually a good friend of mine in Tampa now.
Yeah.
Okay.
I want to meet her so bad.
Oh, she'll be here.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. What is your biggest stressor on show day? We'll go with Lauren to start.
All right, I think the biggest stressor for me is like, there's just so much you have to do on show day. It's like makeup, tan, hair, suit, timing, when am I gonna be on stage? Like, I think all of that is super stressed out, which I'm sure Paul knows because of like all his competitors and stuff on show day.
So you just mean general show day anxiety?
I think,
like the waiting, the getting ready and waiting.
I think the waiting and just making sure that like all those little details, like you're getting them done that day. Like just with the hair, makeup, tan, all that stuff.
What about you?
I'd say probably timeline. It's not so much like anything in particular. It's like, all right, are they actually going to be on time?
Right.
Or are they running early? Or are they running late? Because you have to time your meals. And so it's like you think you eat a meal and it's like they say, oh, we're 6 hours out. And then it ends up being 10 hours. Yeah. So it really just, I think that's the main thing.
A tunnel.
Yes.
I'll say for both of you, you have a lot of experience on stage at this point.
Right.
Getting that experience is what makes you ready to start winning.
Right.
I feel like, yeah, because you don't get caught up in that minutia. All right. Let's start with Katie.
Yes.
How did you get in the right frame of mind when you start a competition prep? Do you have a routine or a method that gets you kind of in the groove?
When I start a competition prep, I'd say I have to be like, I reach this mental state where I'm like, dieting does not sound bad to me and I actually really want to diet. It's like this kind of thing that clicks in my mind where I'm like, it's not like I dread the process. I actually really look forward to the process, and I think that's when I know I'm ready. I took quite a long off season in between when I won my pro card and then my pro debut in 2017. It was like 3 years. Or 2014 is when I won my pro card. I didn't make my pro debut until 2017. I just like wasn't mentally ready. I was like, I can't see myself competing, and I can't see myself stepping on stage. And then it was like it clicked at one point.
It's not so much what you do to start prep. It's
a mentality. It's a mental state.
You're just ready to go.
Yeah, it's like a mental state.
Until you're ready.
Right. It's like more of a perspective, I think, as opposed to like minutia things, because in the off season I'm very consistent, and it's really important, I think, if you want to do well in competitions, to be consistent even in the quote off season when sometimes you maybe don't have as much motivation, but that's when you make improvements. So I think for myself it's not like hard to stay on top of things in the off season. It's more like actually mentally being ready to begin a prep.
So Lauren, you just took an entire year off after the 2017 win in November.
Yeah.
So what did you feel you did to kind of kickstart your competition prep this year?
Yeah, I think I was just, like I said, I'm just so ready to like diet again.
Yeah.
Like I took that, just what Katie said. I mean, you just take the time off and your willpower is all there to like, all right, let's do this. I'm ready to like empty my tank and freaking go. So yeah.
All right, so let's answer, this is a 3-part question.
Oh.
What was the hardest part of your prep? What was your lowest carb intake of prep? And how low did your body fat percentage get if you had it tested?
So that would be it'd be an estimation.
Yeah, just for fun. So let's say,
so
what was the hardest part of
prep?
Is it the cardio? Is it the nutrition? Is it the posing? Is it the
posing?
Yeah. All right.
For me, walking in heels is not natural at all, so I had to really work at that. And I was so blessed to have Heather Drake, who actually was the 2000. She won WNBF Worlds 3 times in a row, and she's from Columbus, Ohio. And so she was my mentor going into my into my pro debut. So I was. Oh, sorry. Okay. Keep going. Anyways, so I worked with her for, maybe like 15 weeks. It was like awesome. Every single week. And so we got, posing is so hard, especially when you're low carb and you're in a deficit and you have to hold those poses for a minute.
Well, the last thing you want to do after you've trained on your cardio is
do posing. Though I looked forward to it because Heather was so awesome. Next part, how low? So on a, not including peak week because that's different. 70 grams.
70 grams, that's pretty low. And then how low did your body fat percentage go?
I was probably about 6. Because I got my body fat measured a month after my show and I was up about 10 pounds and I was 10%.
Yeah, you were lean.
That is shredded.
So, and before anybody worries about 70 carbs being low, one thing all of us are going to be talking about over the course of our preps is you do what you have to do to get in shape. It doesn't look the same for everybody. Right?
Yeah.
So, what do you think is the hardest part of your prep?
So I'm just thinking of like 2017 when I was prepping, and I think the hardest part was just like extending out my season, and like it's hard to extend out the season and like and go into show to show to show, and there's like 4 weeks in between. For me, there was a point where there was like 20 weeks in between, and so that, but it pushed me as a person. So I think 2017 got me ready for like my 2019 season.
I also would expand upon
What was the lowest carb intake you got to during prep? To your last ones.
Mine was 70 grams of carbs too. Yeah.
And then did you get your body fat percentage tested? I remember you did a DEXA.
I think I was 8% or was I 7?
I think
you were 6.
I think you're around 8%.
Oh, I'm just estimating.
Okay, I think I was 8% body fat.
Yeah.
I had no. I was like.
Okay, so I think this is a good question, not a common question. So what ancillary practices such as yoga, massage, foam rolling do you do to optimize your health and your physique?
Oh yeah, I am huge on recovery and taking that time. I have to have at least 45 minutes a day where I'm relaxing, stretching, foam rolling. It's more of a mental thing for me than a physical. It's like I have to decompress in some way, and I have a really hard time like shutting my mind off, and so it's more of like a meditative process for me. Yeah, so like tonight I will be I call it my stretching time. I'll usually turn on the TV because that's the only time I watch TV is when I stretch. So I stretch and I just like roll out for 45 minutes.
Put on a Paul Revella YouTube video?
Yeah, sometimes.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, number one is YouTube.
All right, so what do you do? Kind of cryotherapy, yoga?
Yeah, well, I think it's
bungee
just like
jumping.
Oh, I also see a physical therapist, like in terms of recovery and that sort of thing, a massage therapist.
I just make sure I'm taking like obviously rest days, so I'm not in the gym like 7 days a week, like crushing myself. Like I actually have 3 rest days a week. So definitely having rest days, and then I see a chiropractor too because my hips are kind of unaligned sometimes, so that helps. And then just like Katie, like I will like when I get up in the morning, I'll do like my stretching routine. It's kind of like a meditating time
too. I do that.
Deep breathing.
Okay, I just got a text from Doug Miller. It says, "What is a rest day?" All right, another good question. These are good questions, guys. Good job on the question asking. All right. Sumo or conventional deadlift for a physique athlete?
Good one.
It really depends on your physical structure.
That's perfect. That's
Reference.
And it's just, for me, I can't get in a good position for sumo without putting so much pressure on my back, on my lower back, just because just the way my leverages are. So it really depends on your leverages and history of injury.
Are you
and
a
then
sumo
also,
or a conventional deadlifter?
For me, I do both. I mean, it's like whatever gets you excited to go and train. Like, what do you like to do? Like, what do you feel strong and what feels good on you?
So if you're coaching one of your athletes, do you tell them to choose one that they fits best for their
I tell them they choose what they want to do.
Usually I go by personal preference with clients, and then I ask to see like, okay, how does it actually look? Because if there like are some things, and then if one looks better than the other, then kind of go by that.
All right, this one's for Katie. You have mentioned some hormonal imbalances post-prep season. What steps have you taken to correct those?
So for me, I just take a really long time, or it takes a significant amount of body weight to regain normal hormonal balance. And so for me, it was, I find it more difficult post-show to all of a sudden like go from like hardcore to normal life. And so for me, it's a little bit harder of a transition. But really, it was just kind of accepting the fact that I needed to be 25 pounds over stage weight in order to have normal hormones, right? So, so really, it's just kind of, it's a combination of eating more and exercising less, resting more. And sometimes that's hard to do, especially when we're wired the way we are. It's like, no, we want to keep, go. Yeah, and you have to.
Yeah. Well, good answer. All right, so for Lauren, tips on doing your own stage makeup. I know you've been learning about it. Also tips on how to make your hamstring pop in the back pose.
Okay, so makeup, I really don't know about makeup. Like I'm trying, like this is like the first time where I'm like trying to learn. So I'm doing like a bunch of YouTube videos and stuff like that. But I promise you, once I like get it down, I'll definitely share. For right now, I need to like practice a few times because I don't even know really yet. And then for the back bikini pose, I mean, everybody's like different, right? Because you don't want like your quads to like stand out in your back bikini pose. So I guess it's definitely like a preference. But for me, what I do is I kind of just like slightly bend my knees a little bit. So I'm not like pushing out, it's like locking out my knees. I slightly like bend them a little bit. I feel like that helps me, but
yeah, I think bikini posing is kind of specific to the individual.
Yeah.
You don't want to make your hamstrings pop to the point where you flatten out your glutes.
No,
so
yeah.
As a judge, you know, they're not staring at your hamstrings. They're looking at the overall package.
They're looking at the shape.
Yeah,
so
they're not
don't
picking you apart.
bend over like that. You want to stand straight up and down.
Yeah. All right, for Katie. So are you still using a daily undulating periodization with your bodybuilding focused training? Also, what is the key to your baseball-shaped biceps?
I don't know, baseball. That's like really circular. I don't know if that's accurate. So yes, I do undulate my repetitions. So let's say I have, but they're different than, let's say, a standard DUP training that you think of associated with powerlifting. So that would be bench, squat, and deadlift. But for me, I undulate the repetitions that I do with a chest supported row, with an overhead press, with a pull up, with squat and deadlift, but I only deadlift once per week. So it's really dependent on what block I'm in. So that's a little bit different. So that's more of a linear periodization for something specific like that. But yeah, I still do undulate repetition. So I have, let's say, a lower repetition day where I'm focusing more on strength for a chest supported row, and then I have a higher repetition day. And as far as biceps, it would just be.
Let's see it.
It would just be.
Is it a baseball?
Yeah.
It's more of a football if I had to give it a sport.
It would just be time, consistency.
Mom and dad.
Genetics. I have veins no matter what body fat I'm at, so it's weird. That's genetics.
Jacked and pale. All right, guys.
Albino.
Well, thank you, Lauren. Thank you, Katie, for your time.
Thanks for asking us.
So
these
for anyone
questions.
that wants to know more about Lauren and Katie, they both have fantastic Instagram pages, fantastic YouTube pages. So follow them on all the social media platforms, and come see us at the booth here in Ohio if this video is out before. Okay, Kenton's yelling at me.
1923.
1923? Yeah, booth 1923. I'll be there Friday and Saturday.
Same.
Yeah, we'll all be there all weekend, so we'll figure it out. Just come by and see us. Doug's gonna be there. You can kiss his biceps. Kenton will make you laugh. Bobby will get pictures of you. All right, guys, till next time.